coming at you from Stretch Wolf Studios. It's time again to rage across the internet. We're here as usual. I've got to my left, Danny. Just Tyson.
Just Tyson, huh?
Producer Danny Tyson.
Hey, everybody.
That's all. And of course, across me, my man Tommy Dixon. How you doing, brother?
How's it going, guys?
It's going well. Going well.
Yeah, very well.
We are enduring this terrible, rainy, murky nonsense day.
Yeah, what the hell? Yesterday was so nice out.
Just welcome to, yeah.
Yeah. No, welcome to the world.
Welcome to the world.
Yeah, we're dealing with it. But that's okay, because we're here in studio to bring to you another great episode. It's gonna be a great episode.
I hope so.
Or else.
Or else.
Oh, shit. Okay, so yes.
He's threatening us right now that we have to do a good job.
That's right. Well, it's a good episode at Knife Point, everybody.
He flat out said we don't put out episodes he doesn't like, so...
I did say that at Discord today.
He did it. Oh, man. When he said
Which
that,
is true.
Like,
we have scrapped a lot of episodes.
There have been more than a few that it's like, no, I don't,
No.
Which is kind of, I don't want to say embarrassing, but at the same time...
I'm not embarrassed by that. I'm proud to say that I won't put something out that I won't stand by.
Agreed. I like I said, I'm not trying to say embarrassing. I think it's kind of a bummer that there's that many other episodes out there that just haven't got to air.
You know, sometimes shit happens, or a good bit goes away, or like a good point was brought up and lost, but everything comes back around.
Quality wasn't there for a lot of them. That's the main reason.
And that's really what it comes down to.
True.
You know, hell, I remember we had that audio issue like way back, episode 5 and 6, 6 and 7.
Something like that.
And we pulled both of those.
Yeah.
One aired for like an hour.
For an hour.
And then we pulled it.
Yep.
Sorry if you got that one.
Right. But I mean, what did we do is we went back, we did the re-record, and then we posted 2 in a day to make up for it.
Yeah. No, I remember.
That was a long time ago.
Right. Speaking of a long time ago.
Oh, okay.
Here's the segue.
Nice.
Today we're talking Umbra. And it would be fair to call this Umbra 102 except for the fact that if you go back...
Umbra 101 was almost a year ago.
Yeah.
That was episode 18.
It's been a while.
It's been a while.
Something we promised to revisit. And
hey, look, we're not breaking that promise.
No, we're making good on it. Just oops.
Oops. Yeah, oops is right.
No, like seriously, like 9 months we couldn't think to like talk about the Umbra again.
A lot of stuff
that didn't
up.
cross our fucking mind.
We've talked about Umbra,
right? But we just haven't done
in a focused episode, correct?
Right. And I mean, getting a focused episode out of us in the first place. Let's be honest.
Good luck.
Yeah, good point on that too.
That can't be why people listen to this.
No,
I know they're not listening for our jokes, so
you know.
I
am. But before we dive into that, though,
right,
we should talk a little business.
Mm-hmm.
So first off, you guys know by now the store's open.
Yes,
our store is back.
You still need to buy one.
Yeah,
it's close enough for now.
Any idea how long ago?
It'll take us 9 months to buy kazoos.
Right.
Is that what you call them?
What?
So the store is open. This guy.
Yep.
Store's open, and we are still within our first our grand what I'm calling our grand reopening sale.
Yeah.
Where if you join our Discord, you can get the 10% off coupon code. So all you got to do is join the Discord, and we'll give you that code.
Yeah.
You can use that for 10% off the purchase, not an individual item.
Which kind of makes more sense anyway.
Well, I mean, you get 10% off a $5 item. Congratulations.
Yeah, that's dumb. Buy like 3 shirts and a mug, and you get 10% off all of that.
And like a car.
Wow, we have Rage Across the Internet cars.
When did this happen?
I can't verify their delivery. Cash up front, no refunds.
Oh, wow, okay.
You're going to get a little Hot Wheels.
It's not even to say ARA, it's just a Hot Wheels. We'll sign it. Fuck it.
There we go. Perfect.
No, but there are a couple new items.
Oh, cool.
We've got, maybe go and look. Go find out.
Yeah.
You can get to that through our website, which is, Tom?
RageAcrossTheInternet.com.
No. I'm not. No.
.com. Thanks, Danny.
Yep, thanks, Danny.
Nope. I said no.
So, yeah, it's just a couple new products. And, we will have more as time goes on.
Yeah, we're still looking. I'm excited to see what else we can get on there.
Yeah.
There's some cool stuff already, and we're already looking into getting really cool stuff. So,
And if you have suggestions for products or like a different style of something, let us know, because we're not
feedback.
we're not like the experts on this. So
Right. Yeah, if you want something specific that's not there, or
maybe we can make it happen.
yeah, just let us know. Write in.
We love our feedback.
Right?
That's
And
our food.
Talk to us on Discord, because you're already there to get your discount code.
There you go.
Boom.
But yeah, just wanted to talk about that real quick.
No, yeah, it's a big deal. It's a good idea.
And of course, to just the usual beg, borrow, and steal to get those reviews, those 5 stars, wherever you can do it. Word of mouth, like our Facebook nonsense. Just give it a thumbs up. It ain't going to hurt you, but it's going to get us out there to other people. And we want more people. We want all the people.
Yeah. Share the wealth.
We want people who don't know what werewolves are. We can teach them. It'll be okay. It'll be fun. We want the people who know all the werewolves. We want all the people.
That works for me.
Tom, we want all the people, right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Hit me up on the Twitter.
Yes.
Yeah,
That's Tom's baby now.
That's all you, man.
Hit me up on the Twitter. Give us a like. Retweet us.
Yeah.
Post every Tuesday.
So, maybe a couple more posts here and there, especially showing off some of that merch. And hey, if you have bought stuff,
Oh yeah, big deal.
yeah,
That's a big deal.
Post that too.
Please.
Put that on your tweets and put that in your Facebooks.
Hash brown us.
Yeah, put a hash brown with our name on it. Send it to the internet.
Send it to the internet. Yeah. Post those pictures of that merch.
Yeah, show it off.
Yeah, please show it off. That stuff looks cool to us. We want to know if that looks cool to you too.
Maybe people get excited about seeing it.
Yeah.
We get excited about seeing it.
We get excited.
Right?
Yeah, it's some cool stuff. My mug is here. Oh, my last one broke, and I was so disheartened over it. So now that this one's up, it's nice and displayed.
Yeah, Tom's got the
It
travel.
is sad you lost season 1's mug.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. Collector's item, but bummer.
Yeah, of course, this is the season 2 merch. So
Yeah.
if you have any season 1 stuff, that's limited edition, man.
Never coming back.
Nope. But all right, that said, let's move on.
Yeah, let's go.
All right, so we are in fact talking the Umbra today, and the plan has always been, because we covered the Penumbra in the first episode, we would immediately move to the near Umbra,
Right.
which is it's a trickier beast.
A bit.
It's understatement.
Yeah.
But since we were barely out of single digits when we covered the Penumbra,
Right.
I thought maybe it'd be good to have a little bit of a refresher for
Yeah.
those who aren't, new to the game.
Not a bad idea.
So I guess we start there. As the bottom line is the Penumbra.
Velvet Shadow.
That's right. Still classy.
Still classy.
Nice.
Still classy. Yeah, the Penumbra is the Umbra you go. That's when you step sideways. You cross the gauntlet. That's where you are. You're in the Penumbra.
That's probably, at least 75% of where you go anytime you go into the Umbra?
Probably. I mean, that varies, of course, by what you're doing in Storyteller, but more often than not, in my experience, people go to the Penumbra.
Okay.
And that is, it's, quote, Gaia's Shadow, the Velvet Shadow, because again, PQ's up, folks, we're being classy here. And that is the reflection of the realm.
Right.
It's not a one-for-one.
It's like a darker, shittier version.
Well, sure, I like to equate it to, if you've watched Stranger Things, the Upside Down.
I was going to bring that up.
Yeah, I think that's
That
great...
is the best way to put it.
Yeah, it's a great visual, it's, again, not one-for-one either, but I think it's a great way to look at it, to where it's the same general thing, but not everything is there.
Yep. Darker.
Yep.
Not as happy.
Certainly not. So, I mean, that's obviously the Penumbra. And then you have to keep in mind, is I think a lot of players use that sometimes as like a get-out-of-jail-free card. More inexperienced groups.
Yeah, like trying to rob a bank or something. I'll just go in the Umbra and flip into this bank vault and then come out on the other side. I'm good.
And you go into the Umbra, it might not exist.
And then that's kind of the
depending
point
on how
here.
long it's been there.
Right. And how much, attention's got, how much resonance it has, know. And, it's important to keep in mind that, you can have something of import, a park or maybe a stretch of forest, right? In the Umbra. It had been there for years and years and years and years and years. So here it is in the Umbra. It has that presence. But maybe it's been torn down and it's a strip mall in the realm.
Okay.
The spirit can exist without the physical being. The physical cannot exist without the spirit.
Yeah, it can go one way but not the other.
Right.
Kind of a bummer.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess also depends how long it has been that way. How long's that strip mall been there? How long was that forest there beforehand? So
That
I
would
can
be
see it.
interesting, stepping sideways in a strip mall, and all of a sudden you're in a nice forest.
It would be kind of neat, yeah.
would
I
be
don't know
neat.
if it would be nice.
Well, you know what I mean, though. It'd be a forest, and it's just, oh, that's neat.
Well, obviously everything there is spirit stuff. It's ephemera,
Mm-hmm.
and also the Umbra works on different rules. And
Right.
different sections of the Umbra work in different rules. But again, with the Penumbra, it's the closest to 1-for-1 with the realm.
Okay, yeah, that makes
It's not,
sense.
but it's the closest to it.
right. Yeah, like you said, the upside down from Stranger Things.
It's
It's
the best
close.
way to paint it visually.
Yeah, if to express it visually to someone new, I think the Upside Down is a great example. Of course, I've always sung the praises of that show as secretly a World of Darkness show.
Project Iliad, yeah.
Yeah, it's like, hey, this is a test subject, and he was the Bane, this was the Alp. No, that's it. That's a scrag.
Oh, yeah. That's exactly how I picture Scrag, too.
Yeah, Demogorgon is just a scrag, everybody.
Because when that first came out, we had just started playing.
Yeah.
Yep.
And Porter had told both me and Tom, like, okay, watch this, and then when you're done watching, I'll let you know a little bit more information. Let me watch it. And he goes, so did you figure it out yet? And then Tom and I looked at each other like, yeah, we figured it out. He goes, well, so what's the Demogorgon? Son of a bitch. Yep, that's a scrag. That's awesome.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Yeah.
So I think, that show's good for that. I mean, it's a decent show, but that's not why we're here.
Right.
Just talk of that refresher on the Umbra.
Makes sense why we can do that and help get into the next section.
Yeah, the little warm-up as we dive deeper into this beast. Because, the Umbra is... I'm going to say the Umbra is infinite.
I was going to say vast.
It's an understatement, certainly.
So many pocket realms and...
Exactly.
Yeah.
Layers upon layers and realms hidden into realms.
It's a big
and
onion.
It is. It is. It's the largest onion.
We haven't done that in a
largest
while,
onion.
huh?
Title.
The largest onion.
Umbra 2, the largest, the biggest onion.
Oh, perfect.
All right.
That's it. We got it.
Gotta
Cut and
write
print.
that down.
Just peel back, it's got layers.
Yep.
Oh boy. Got it. All right. Written
Yeah.
down. Here we go.
And the Umbra is such an important part of the game.
Oh yeah.
You got to keep in mind, is Gyro, they're part man, they're part spirit, too.
Yes. Part man, part wolf, part spirit.
All awesome.
True.
But, the ability to deal with the spirits, to deal with them in their homelands, to explore the vastness of the Umbra, that's, you want to talk to your realms at that point. The Penumbra, again, is the Penumbra. And, again, sometimes people could use that as like a get-out-of-jail-free card.
Don't do that.
Well, you shouldn't, because, I'm telling those storytellers in those groups who don't know this stuff, that it should be worse.
Yeah.
Like, whatever the Bad News Bears is in the realm should be worse. That should
It's
be a
tripled
blight.
when you go into the Penumbra.
Yeah, it should be a blight or a hellhole, or that crack house should be festooned with banes once you step sideways.
Oh.
And maybe there's no
You
floor
step
on the
sideways
third
into
floor.
3 thunderworms, like
Well, maybe, I don't know, but, yeah, something.
something epic.
You're on the 4th floor of those high rises where, where the crack houses are, and, maybe there's no
There's
building.
no building.
Yeah, there might not even be a building.
You've got a 4-story fall ahead of
Enjoy
you.
that. Or, there's no floor, and it's just the facade of a building. Maybe it's been there long enough. Maybe you're
Well, it's
grasping
just
on
the- it's
pattern
just the
webs to
iron.
hold on.
Or it could be just the iron sitting there, and you got to watch out. You might get speared.
Could be.
Ouch.
But again, even though, crack house. So maybe this is a blight. Maybe it's a hellhole.
Yeah, I was gonna say because then you're looking at worm corruption.
Yeah, you get smoglings and, maybe probably a few scrags here and there and, various banes of all sorts of different shit.
Yeah.
It's going to be worse than like the 12 crackheads you're going to have to fight normally. Maybe just kill the Fomor. What are you doing?
Oh man.
So it's not something you should just use as a shortcut to get out of a jam because, again, it will sometimes make it worse. Then again, sometimes it can help with ease of access. I remember a particular group who were tasked with taking down this, the Cliff's Notes.
Okay.
The bad man lives here in this
I
junkyard.
was gonna say this is not us, or is it
The
us?
bad man lives in this junkyard.
Okay.
In the group, this group of particular players, these geniuses, spent 2 hours, like in the real world time, in Lupus, scouting around the property, looking at the fence,
Oh my god.
trying to locate where the junkyard dogs were, and they eventually made their break and infiltrated the junkyard, got their way through, And it was no fences in the Umbra, so it wasn't like a compound. You could just walk down in.
Hey, Tom.
Does that sound familiar to anybody?
Do you remember
I'm
that?
quiet over here for a reason.
Do you
That
remember
was
that?
what? That was early on.
Was that during the Guilty?
That was during
That
Guilty.
was during the Guilty.
I think it was chapter 5.
Was it
Ish.
5?
It was 4 or 5.
Yeah, it was a little side mission during the Guilty, yeah.
I thought it was earlier than that, because the patrons might have that by now.
Earlier than that is Into the Breach. Oh, you mean chronologically?
Chronologically, yeah.
We haven't recorded it yet, so it's got to be 5 or later.
Holy crap. Oh, man, it's kind of embarrassing.
Yeah, that was a little bit. We were still new.
No, you were still, but it was funny.
It was.
It was funny, because one of you stepped sideways at the end, and it's like the house barely exists.
Yes. Well, it's
like
step sideways at the end because you got to clean up your mess.
Yep.
Something we were taught in Into the Breach.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
And then you looked around and you were like, oh, this could have...
Yep.
We just...
Yep.
Oh, damn it.
Oh, darn.
Yep. Embarrassing.
To be fair, at first, the Umbra to us was painted as in Bad News Bears.
Oh, yeah, it was scary. The way you painted it when we first started, it was like scary. We were trying to avoid it as much as we could.
Do tell.
It's
It's just the way you painted it. It was the darker version of the
And
realm.
plus, our first time there was we had to deal with scrags and blah, blah, blah. It was our ritual. I mean,
Right.
we went into it and went, oh, this is a hellhole. I don't want to go there.
Yeah. it was bad right off the bat for us, so it just kind of painted it for the rest of it. I mean, obviously, we've learned.
Right.
Oh, for sure. And plus, we didn't read the Umbra book, so it was kind of one of those, we were doing it off of our first experience, and it was, Bad News Bears going into the Umbra, so avoid it.
I didn't realize I scared you off the Umbra with the first.
I don't know about... No.
No,
Scared.
it's scared.
Scared. Yeah.
I did. So
Does
there's...
Danny want his face ripped off again by a scrag? Like, come on.
So actually, there's a good tip right there for you newer storytellers. Be careful not to scare your players away from the Umbra. Show the good and the bad.
Okay, yeah. That's a good idea.
We also had a different kind of beginning.
Well, definitely, but I mean, I didn't know that until you said it right now. I had
Really?
no idea. Yeah.
I thought we told you.
No, I always wondered why you guys shied away from the Umbra so fucking much.
Again, it was in the beginning.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Now, it's very important and almost not used often enough.
No, I agree. And I think we talked about this somewhat recently. Mm-hmm. About how I had to change on the fly.
Oh, yeah.
A lot of the stories through Shadows and Tall Trees.
Right. Our most current chronicle just happened, yeah.
There was a lot of Umbra play in that. A lot of exploring Umbra realms that I cut. And we're not done doing that stuff because it's, as we'll get into now,
extremely important.
Yeah. And it can be really fun and really interesting.
Oh, yeah. Especially after what we just did our little research here. And I can see how much could have been in that chronicle. Mm. It's just like, oh man, kind of wish I saw some of this, or I wish I saw some of that. But at the same time, we know what happened to the chronicle. The pacing was fucked.
Yeah,
Well, and after my hiatus, with the way we wrote Ghost's little 1-year stint, I try to use the Umbra more and more because he's gotten more comfortable with it.
Which is cool. And there's always time for more Umbra stories. There's so much to explore and in so many avenues you can go to. And I think let's make that transition. Mm-hmm. And I think the first thing I noticed, and this really stuck in my craw while we were reading up, for this episode, because here's your little inside baseball, folks, is I do maybe half the research these guys do.
Oh, well, you know so much more than we do.
Well, I mean, that's the thing.
You've done the research over the course of your life.
Right. So, when I go, I'll go for a quick refresher, something maybe I'm not sure on, I want to touch down on, I want to double check on. Mm-hmm. And a lot of times these guys are learning shit for the first time. Mm-hmm. Is that about accurate?
Oh, yeah.
Very.
Okay. So, I've always had a trouble with the idea of the transition between the Penumbra and the Near Umbra.
Okay.
So I went looking. Because I wanted to double down on that. So I opened Umbra 20, and I'm looking. And then I opened Umbra 3, and I'm looking. And I opened Velvet Shadow.
Oh, no.
And I'm looking. A lot of that book is the same. Is revised, by the way. A lot of that book is word for word.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Moneymaker.
Well, I mean, the stuff that changed. So,
Right.
hey, folks.
Yeah, but this is the concrete stuff that has to stay.
Right. So, I did not find what I would call a satisfactory answer.
I thought you were going that direction. Yeah, there's not really a whole lot of feasible information in there to be the transitions. There is some, but it's not concrete.
With the nature of the Umbra, I can understand that, and I can almost be at peace with that, except for, as a storyteller, like today,
Right.
I can give you that transition. I can come up with something clever or something fun. Like a more experienced Garu is taking you to the near Umbra for the first time. It's going, I think we're about here.
Okay.
And like kicks over a rock, and there's a hole, and that hole, it's like it's underwater, and that becomes your transition through. And that can be fun. And who's to say it can't be? Because the book aggressively doesn't tell you that it can't.
It's true.
So it can be whatever you want it to be. So you could do that. Or step into a shadow, like the shadow of this tree. A shadow of a tall tree, perhaps.
Oh.
Didn't mean to do that. That just happened.
Good job.
And and suddenly you don't come through the other side. Now you're deeper in. You could do a fun thing like that. There's nothing stopping you. There's nothing wrong with it. But it would be nice, as a storyteller who at one point couldn't come up with something like this on the fly.
Right, especially a newer storyteller.
Exactly what I'm saying. To have something concrete down that they can look at, even if it's just a couple examples of shit you could do to make that transition happen. Because now we're not talking about the deeper parts of the Umbra yet. They're here.
Just happened to stumble upon.
You hit the membrane, and there's a real thing there, and you have to use an anchor head, and fine. But there isn't that between. It's on the same level.
Right, you're talking about between Penumbra and near.
I'm talking, yeah.
Yeah, trying to make that transition. Yeah, it's one of those you can't just stumble upon it. I guess you could.
You could.
As
If you're wandering far enough in the Penumbra, yeah, you could just stumble into the near Umbra.
Then real quick, because I like those two examples. Mm-hmm. For the newer storytellers out there, any other ones you can come off the top of your head?
Well, you could just find yourself walking, and then
all of a sudden, maybe gravity gets lighter, and you look behind you, and the shit that was behind you is like way behind you. Oh wow! But I just remember crossing it.
Yeah, you just moved 20 miles in the course of a second.
Wow,
that's the near Umbra for you, though.
Right.
Yeah,
and it just happened around you instantly. And obviously they're...
Well, they do mention spirit gates. Those are obviously old and ancient, and nobody knows how to use them. But
right. Yeah,
as a storyteller, you could write something in.
You could. We were going to get to that, so you bring it up now. Cool.
Well, it fits right now. So.
Yeah, there you go. It's cool.
I'm cool with it, because I got some stuff on that, too.
Yeah, with the spirit gates, those are older and ancient, and, I don't want to say you figure out how to make them work. That can be done.
Yeah, or you have a rank 6 Garu floating with you that knows how one works.
Who doesn't? Honestly. If you don't have a rank 6 Garu walking around with your pack, I don't know what you're doing. It's crazy. Right. You don't... That was joke time. Don't do that.
Sorry,
nobody do that.
Newer or older storytellers, don't do it.
That's a bad idea, Jeans.
Sorry.
It's all right. I like it, though.
It's funny.
Yeah, you could make a solid arc around that, around discovering a gate. And where does it go? Because those gates, they go somewhere. Mm-hmm. And the potential in that. What if you find those gateways and they go somewhere amazing like Summer Country? Or better yet, what if they go somewhere terrible like Malphys? But now you have a direct route in and out.
Oh, it's still scary.
Yeah, but you have an out.
But you have an out, right. Because it's an instant travel.
I like that.
Yeah.
Battle plan time.
Exactly. That works both ways.
Mm-hmm.
You find a portal to Wolfholm. Well, now if you're stuck in Wolfholm and life is terrible, you don't have to solve the fucking mystery secret to get out.
You've got your out. As long as the gate is still existing on the other side.
Well, you'd make the argument it would have to.
Yeah, it would have to. That's. I was going to say that too. Because if one gate doesn't exist, the other doesn't exist as either.
Right. But a lot of
they
them
have to both exist for
in
it
the
to
war.
be.
But you make the argument then, I think like Danny was saying, they both exist or neither exist.
Like a moon bridge.
Yeah. And we keep talking about Umbra. Danny's got something.
No, I was just saying that'd be a really cool story hook.
Yeah.
Or even a story arc. There used to be a spirit gate here.
Mm-hmm.
We need to find it because there's no other way in right now.
Well, and shit, here's something for you. If that spirit gate goes somewhere good or important or interesting, okay, not the Wood of Malphys or Wolfholm, all right?
not to somewhere terrible.
Yeah, not somewhere awful.
Nice. Well, nice compared.
Wouldn't this make a great place for a cairn?
Oh, see what I mean? Story arc.
Right? I mean, you don't want to spirit gate to Malpheus on your Bond.
No,
Because that
definitely
shit does work both ways,
Yeah,
folks.
and if they figure it out, good luck.
Right?
And that's what I was going to ask, because it's still going to work both ways. So anything on the other side now has access to your Bond.
You wake that thing up, all of a sudden, it's a Nexus crawler, because some idiot just let it. Cool.
Oh, you're fucked.
Cool, everybody. Hold the battle. I guess.
I guess.
So, I mean, yeah, there are spirit gates. But I think that's a bigger deal and should definitely be treated like a bigger deal.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and I think that's
like a
kind
lost
of
extremely rare.
Yep.
And I think that's kind of why they made them that way. They're probably written that way. That it's instant travel, but look, it's so rare that it's probably not even in the thing. So if you find one, awesome.
Yeah, make a big deal out of that.
Cool story hook, cool story arc.
All right, so let's backtrack a little, because we did kind of jump.
All right.
What is the Near Umbra?
Well, the Near Umbra is, I guess, the next layer of that onion.
Yeah, I was going to say, we already talked about the onion.
Right.
It's the next layer.
You got to describe it.
Well, that's the thing, because it's hard to
Can you?
describe.
Exactly. But we didn't touch this. That's my
No, it's a good point.
Yeah.
Thanks for bringing us back.
Yes.
Good job.
I don't want to say that the Near Umbra can be whatever you want it to be, but it can be whatever you want it to be.
It's a void.
It is a void, and it also is affected by the will of those traveling in the Near Umbra.
Mm-hmm.
It's affected by their desire for their destination. It's affected by spirits around
who are
there.
already there. Like protecting certain areas or certain paths.
The Near Umbra can be.
I wrote a little blurb down. It's distance has no real meaning in the Near Umbra. The spirit world changes away from land and sky, almost void. You will catch glimpses of things, the stars, the other realms. You can actually, they're way out there, but distance has no meaning. So it's kind of one of those. It could be like if you want something, you want to travel to one of these realms, it'll be the closest you can see.
It will seem the closest.
Seem the closest out of the realms you can
because
visibly
again,
see.
Distance means jack shit.
Yep. Your senses are just not. You can't sense anything. Like smells could turn into colors to you.
Okay, when it said something like that,
Yeah, I read that. I'm like, smell. You can
The
just
smell
blue.
of color blue. What
Yeah.
the fuck?
Oh man, you are lucky.
You're lucky you're smelling.
You're not a thirst, and you're lucky you're not going through my thirst school.
You have thirst school?
I kind of have thirst school.
I want to attend those.
J-
I was going to say, Tom, he has thirst school.
I'm going to have thirst school here shortly, guys.
I put our last thirst through thirst school, and you'd go fun thought experiments like how would you best address spirit of electricity? How would you piff of jazz? Talk to jazz, not like the Autobot, but like the concept of the music.
I don't know.
Not the banjo.
That's a head, man. Come on.
Okay.
You know what? I'm going to just add in a little
No, you
jazz flute in there.
won't. You absolutely won't.
Yeah,
Please don't.
No. Get sued for
But blue. How do you talk to blue? How do you interact with that? Is a concept. It's a thought experiment.
Yeah.
Wow.
But
Think about that.
moving from that for a moment, because there's a little high concept there, and
But still.
when you're not talking to flowers yet, and I'm talking about dealing with the piffs, and just fucking slow down. But
Hey, you brought up.
no, I brought up all of it. This was all my fault.
But that's the thing that kills me is like there's no sensory input there.
Right.
Like even when you're talking and you're not getting the feedback from talking.
But and here's the thing, because there's a point to where it's storyteller discretion. The Near Umbra, again, we talk about how it's affected by the travelers, the will of this, the will of that. It's affected by the will of the storyteller. So
Yeah.
you could be, for example, if it were my Near Umbra, maybe you're traveling in a vast desert and then suddenly it becomes a forest. And now it's a lake. And you're walking through it, and the set is changing like in a fucking cartoon. Like it's just spinning
Just
behind
speeding
you.
by.
Yeah. And that's not what's happening, but it's your perception of what's happening.
So you're almost getting the portrayal of the storyteller's mind.
Or how he feels that,
Or that
he or she feels that
the character
this
would feel it.
section of the Umbra is versus this section of the Umbra. And maybe it's chaos and random. There was, I believe it was in revised Umbra 3.
Okay.
But it's actually Umbra 2, but it's 3rd edition. I hate that.
Anyway.
Umbra revised.
Sure.
Where I believe it's in that book, they bring up the silver rule, and it's that every adventure into the Umbra should be different and unique and interesting. Which is
Okay,
neat.
that makes
That
sense.
is neat.
Yeah.
I like that.
It's a challenge for a storyteller to really play with your imagination. And I know the example I just gave you is not what it says in the fucking book, but it also can be anything because it's based on perception.
Mm-hmm. It's based on what the pack's purpose is.
Right?
Yeah.
And how they can handle what's going on around. I think somewhere in the books it was the Near Realms, which we're probably not going to talk about. I don't know. But there's the 13 Near Realms. There's a bunch of Near Realms. There's a bunch of pocket realms, but they're the big Near Realms. And they talk about how maybe you could look at the Earth and then the 13 realms going or circling around the Earth like a pearl necklace.
It's almost like they're orbiting
Almost
Earth
like,
itself.
and it's none of that's literal. But like, how else are we going to describe this so your brains can comprehend it?
Right.
No, I get what you're saying, because again, it's that perception.
Right.
And it's going to be different every time, so I don't know how
Hard
else
to
describe
wrap
it.
your mind around something that ignores physics.
Right.
Solid point.
Yeah, none of the rules apply.
None.
So how do you grasp it?
Yeah.
And
And the current rules will not be the same rules the next time you get there.
not necessarily. You just assume. And so it makes traveling in the Near Umbra all just traveling in it. Just rife for potential and adventure.
I like that.
Just going from point A to B is a journey.
It should be every time.
Exactly.
I like the way you introduced it to us.
How's that?
That was fun. Where we obviously went through a hole and then appeared in just a void. But then all of a sudden, windows. Just rows and rows of windows that we had to peek through to try to find our destination.
Yeah, you were in a null zone.
Yeah. But going through the near
Yeah.
to get to it, that was nuts. Just
Yeah.
because the way you described it to us, just...
Yeah, because you were very descriptive when it comes to stuff like that. So it helps bring it to our imagination. Because obviously, I couldn't describe some of that stuff.
Well, the beauty is you're making it up, so
Right.
you can.
It was just great because we hadn't researched it yet either.
Right.
Yeah,
Now that
so
I've
this
read
was
it,
a
I
first
appreciate
thing.
it a lot more on how you brought it forward.
I agree
Oh,
with
thank
you
you.
100% on that. Yeah, because it's now that we've read it, much like when we talked about Red Talons,
Yeah.
reading it shows a bigger appreciation for what we've gone through already.
Which,
Yeah.
hey, that could be a thing for future you guys storytelling. If you got something big coming up that's going to touch down on a certain book, have your players read it.
It's probably not a bad idea. There's something to be said for the blind experience, too.
Yeah, that's true. And then have them read it afterwards, because we do me and Danny get a lot more appreciation for a lot of the stuff Porter's done.
And it also helps with that barrier between character knowledge and player knowledge.
Oh yeah, that's true.
Because you don't want me to have described that to you when you pop up in the null zone, and like Danny stand up goes, "Oh, this is the null zone. I know about this." No, you fucking don't.
Yeah.
This is your first time here. You shouldn't.
It should be a surprise to you if you haven't been there already. So yeah, the blind experience I think makes more sense, and then the reading after to show the appreciation.
You heard it here. I mean, these guys do what they say because they said it.
Damn right.
Because we told you to.
Right.
Your
not,
favorite.
not even me, just them.
Oh, no, yeah, no. Don't listen to us.
No, but we talk about travel.
There's so many different ways.
There are a few. Again, they're all festooned with potential.
Yeah, they're all a
That's a good
journey.
word.
They're all a
Thank you.
different
It's
adventure.
one of my favorites. Who wants to start?
Well, before we really start on the travel, we got to remember that most of the Umbral quests will be in the Near Realms.
Right.
So there's going to be a lot of traveling to those different quests, to the different destinations, kind of stuff like Ertz.
Is that how it's pronounced? Ertz?
Ertz.
Ertz. Okay.
I mean, A-I-R,
Ertz.
Ertz.
Sound it out, yeah, right? English is hard.
You mean like round?
Yes, exactly like that.
Nice.
Yeah, I wish other people would listen
Just
to that.
remove
but
the
hey.
D, like round. You remove the D.
Yeah, oh well.
Round.
Well, Ertz.
Ertz.
I wrote these down as they're like your road signs.
Okay. Well, first of all, what is an ert?
That's what I put. It's like your road signs.
It's like a road, but it's a spirit track.
It's essentially a spirit. It's like you're tracking something. You're looking for footprints, tracks, remnants of battle.
Right, and that's the thing. It is the erts themselves change depending on the spirit, depending on where they're going, theoretically.
Depending on what the pack or the person is also needing to find.
Right, so it makes them tricky.
Right, like if you're trying to find the battlegrounds, you're going to find remnants of battle. You'll see car tracks or muddy footprints with Could be guns thrown about, anything, like stuff like that.
Yeah, a bunch of spent
Spent
shell
ammo
casings,
stuff like that.
Sure.
And I put, let's see, footprints, tracks from vehicles, dead animals, claw marks, etc. Stuff like that.
Certainly. And then a thing about that, though, is that spirits are dicks sometimes.
I was going to get to that.
Oh, okay. No, by all means. By all means.
I like putting that most Garu will seek out spirits for assistance in trying to track their location. But spirits are fickle, and they have their own business to take care of.
Mm-hmm.
So sometimes they'll forget they're trying to help you, and they'll just fuck off.
Well, and then beyond that, if you're not in contact with the spirit at the time, and you're just following an errand, you can assume these tracks, these tank treads, or these shell casings, right, are taking you to the battleground. You make that assumption when you follow those tracks, but you don't actually know where those tracks are going.
No,
That spirit could actually be going to the atrocity realm.
Ooh.
It would be a similar type of track.
It's true.
So they can be tricky
yeah.
things. They're not a guarantee. And I mean, that's the thing, is there's not a guarantee when you're following an errand.
No.
Because essentially, you're following it's like following the footprints of an animal.
Yep, and then they could just vanish.
Right.
And reform elsewhere in the Umbra, and you won't know where it went.
We're fucked.
Or maybe the spirit got picked off by something.
Mm-hmm.
And the trail just goes cold, and you're who the fuck knows where.
Exactly.
And, the near Umbra is not somewhere you want to get lost in.
No, because who knows if you'll ever find your way back.
Right. You could end up in Malpheus. You could end up in the Abyss. You could end up in a realm you've never fucking heard of before. I once ran a 4-parter in Virginia.
Okay.
I think it was called Tales of the Four Winds. And the whole premise was that an umbral storm kicked up near the battleground and shot the players elsewhere.
They just elsewhere.
They woke up in Pangea.
Holy fuck.
Oh boy.
Yeah. And now these were pretty green. This was a green pack. And it only worked because they were green, so they didn't know how to get home.
Okay, yeah, you probably couldn't do that with a more
experienced pack, yeah, because they would know, okay, well, maybe I know about this exit, this exit, this exit, or this exit. I know the rules of this realm. Mm-hmm. They don't. So now they're lost in Pangea.
You son of a bitch.
And then part 2 is, okay, well, they go to leave. They found out a way out, but they went the wrong way.
Because, again, they don't know any better.
Because they don't know any better. And they end up in the Scar.
Oh.
And then they get out of the Scar. And they think they get home.
Uh-oh.
But they ended up in a pocket realm that was an alternate a potential future of the world they were living in.
Potential
future. It wasn't the name of the story, because you know how we name the stories here. Mm-hmm. But the kind of behind the scenes name was Desert.
Okay, yeah.
Because what I did for them was I made them new character sheets.
Representing their existing character
as rank 5 Garu 20 years in the future.
Okay, so
yes. Dessert for sure.
Dessert, yeah, we've mentioned Dessert before, and it was definitely like really early on.
I'm sure.
Mm-hmm.
and this is what we were talking about.
Yeah, it was. I remade their characters, took their sheets. You get 5 here, you get 5 here, you get 5 here. Here's some awesome gifts. Here's some gifts from stuff that's not yours.
Here's a couple claves.
I pimped them out, and it was actually an apocalypse story, and I gave him this whole premise, and I talked about how when they got in the realm, these memories flooded into their head that didn't actually happen.
Because again, it's a different future,
but they don't know that.
Oh,
that's neat,
right? So, here's the thing: is we go to Whiplash. Mm-hmm. In that world, they show up, and Whiplash is leading their king. He's their Jarl. And makes sense. His eye's missing, as I tend to do, but it just happened in their game.
Oh. And so in their current game, before they went into the potential future.
Right. He lost that eye like 2 stories prior.
Oh, Jesus.
And his arm was gone, just like Danny's is.
Yeah.
The same way. Harness and everything.
Oh. So that's where you get the idea.
Yeah, that's where I got the idea for the harness.
It's still cool, but hey.
Well, the sword's all yours.
Yeah.
That's a new thing.
That was my idea, too. But
exactly. But, and so the end of that chronicle, it might have been the next one, Whiplash lost the arm.
And again, in their current...
In their real timeline.
Yeah, not the...
So, I kept messing with them.
It would have been funnier to mess with them if it was the other eye that was gone.
Right, but...
Well, I think the point is that he's showing what could possibly be...
And then having certain aspects of that shit happen.
Yes.
That's cool.
Yeah,
that way they think anything that's about to happen to them is going to happen to them.
They look at that side realm and go, oh god, this is going to happen. We've got to watch out for these two because this is going to happen. No, it's not.
Yeah,
That's a good way to mindfuck them the whole time,
Yeah,
too.
that's like
It's fun.
it's like some foreshadowing and some go, haha, just kidding.
Right? Yeah. But again, it was, you could run into that kind of pocket realm.
Which sounds cool, and it would be, again, make for a really cool story hook and arc.
It was fun. And again, it was a good dessert. And then also it wasn't, because then we had a player who was like, when do I get gifted the Spriggan? Never. You're never going to get gifted the Spriggan. You are a Philodox Shadow Lord. You're never getting that gift.
Oh, man.
It's not going to happen. Stop asking.
Ever. So,
Sorry. It was
So
a little
there's
bit
also also another art, and it's the Moonlit Arts.
Yes, and that is
Art.
Airt.
Air.
did we just not discuss this?
Oh, hush.
Thanks for listening to the podcast.
I suck with English.
That's true. Little known fat guys is our friend Tommy Dixon. Farsi is actually his native tongue.
Farsi.
Farsi. You want to give us a little sample? Huh?
No.
What does that mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You guys suck.
Oh, well, now we know how to say that.
Oh, all right. So,
No. To you too, buddy.
You're welcome.
All right.
You figure that one out.
No, yeah, the moon.
so Airts to
Moonlit Arts.
Yeah, the Moonlit Arts.
Airts.
They're a different classification. I mean, they're a classification for two. One thing we're very familiar with, which is the Moon Bridge, which obviously that is cairn to cairn.
Right.
There's a gift that will let a go bypass that, but that's not what we're talking about right now.
It's a different story.
You know,
No,
yeah,
these
that's
are past stones.
yeah, pass stone to pass stone, cairn to cairn, ready cairn opening, and that goes through the penumbra, reaches up through the near umbra.
Yep. The apex.
Yep, actually kisses the ethereal realm.
Yep.
In which case, once it does, Luna is like all over that shit. You can't mess with that bridge at that point. You're fucking locked down. That's as safe as you're ever going to be.
That's cool.
Yeah, anybody tries to attempt to do anything, Luna's celestial is there.
Yeah, Luna herself is going to smite your ass.
Yep.
Oh, that's a bad idea.
You're safe as houses. The girl should all move there.
Right.
Just put a cairn at the top of a moon bridge. Fuck it.
Wow.
Don't.
That's doesn't even make sense.
No.
But the other thing is, what is the other one, Danny?
Well, no, I was thinking going back to the Moonlit Air. They're really good. That's a really good time to do your quests. Those Umbral quests we were talking about.
When is a good time?
Because if it's moonlit, it'd be at nighttime.
Well, sure.
I'm just thinking out loud, I guess.
Okay.
Elaborate.
Yeah.
I mean,
Just why'd you think that? That's all.
because
we want
like,
to know.
if that's the case, then Luna herself could shine some light to help you and show you where to go.
Well, mainly loons would help you out.
I mean, could help
Right.
you.
Well, I wouldn't look. We've talked about this a few times, and really, the other moonlit air is a moon path.
Right.
So when we get to that, we're gonna talk about that. But something we have noted more than once on this show is that Aunt Luna is fucking crazy.
Aunt Luna.
Aunt Luna, I like that.
Well, Gaia's mom, Luna's her sister. That's Aunt Luna.
Good point.
Fair.
Yeah, never. I mean,
Aunt Luna is crazy.
never really put the math together there, but hey.
What do you want for your birthday? Here's a gift card for ballet lessons. Or, here's a shiny moon silver clave. Or, nuclear holocaust. What do you want it to be? It could be any of it. Depends on the phase.
I mean, I want the clave.
Oh boy.
Luna is not stable.
No.
She's absolutely nuts. And again, I think that brings us into moon paths. And so what can you tell us about moon paths, Danny?
Well, they're definitely a lot less predictable than the bridges, the moon bridges.
Well, right, but they're very different than moon bridges.
Very. They're moonlit, and at the same time, all the auspices are phases of the moon. So each of the... it's often that each auspice might take point of the pack
It's not
during whatever phase of the moon is currently going on while they're taking that path.
That's certainly not a bad idea. And in fact, the stability, like the nature of a moon path changes over depending on the phase.
Depending on the phase, right?
And obviously, these only exist at night. Because they have to be lit by the moon.
And actually, that's something to break in real quick. That day and night don't work the same in the Umbra. When it's night, it's night. But daytime in the Umbra, it's not like, Helios is coming and he says, hi, everybody, and he's greeting you and handing you 2 scoops of raisins. That's not how that goes.
Hashtag not sponsored.
Hashtag not sponsored. No scoops for us.
So
But
we're sponsored by us.
Raisin Brain.
No, us.
Oh, yeah.
We are. Yeah. Their sponsor today is Rage Across the Internet.
Rage Across
to
the
go
Internet
check out our
sponsors.
store and blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
Okay.
I was at the commercial plug done.
We're going to have to do one for real. That'll be funny.
Oh, no, yeah.
No, you have ambient light in day, in the day of the Umbra. It's not, Helios isn't up there smiling. Although night is night.
So no matter what, it's nighttime during night. Okay, no, I see what you're saying.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's not, there's not a direct source. It's just, you just get light. It's just light. There's not the direct source. It's somewhere. Figure it out. But
Gotcha.
yes, during night, the moon paths only show up during night in the Umbra. And their potency, how well they're guarded.
Oh, yeah, all depends on...
All depends
which
on the phase of the moon.
Phase of the moon.
The brighter the better. And again, it's just as you think,
Not essentially the brighter the better.
well, in terms of visibility.
Visibility,
True,
yes.
but not by what's going to happen.
Yeah, by the adventure...
Necessarily.
Yeah.
By the adventure you're probably about to take is going to be different depending on each phase.
Oh, absolutely. And here's one for you. These moon paths, they say they go through the umbral skies, but again, as a storyteller, they can do that differently. I mean, this is essentially what we're talking about is, it's like the yellow brick road. But the yellow brick road now changes direction and fades in and out depending on. And sometimes the guards on the yellow brick road want to fuck you up.
Yep.
Yep. Yes,
Sometimes they just leave. They're not there.
yeah.
Figure it out.
Sometimes you have to answer questions for them.
Sometimes.
Again, it could be a different adventure every time.
Well, here's before maybe that path goes different places depending on the phase of the moon.
Ooh,
Okay.
I like that.
Again, storyteller discretion there, but
Certainly, maybe there are lost legendary realms that moon paths lead to under certain circumstances.
okay, I smell a story hook coming.
Well, branches off a beaten path, perhaps, or just an entirely different way. Suddenly, the moon path shifts, and it goes a different way because the moon phase is shifted, or because some other requirement has been made.
Or if it's a
hidden
new
path.
moon and you can't even see the path, but you happen to still stumble through it properly, and you've found yourself something lost because
You failed upward.
Yeah, you failed upward somehow.
I like that. I like that. Failed upward. Yeah, this wasn't my destination. Well, maybe it wasn't really your true desire.
No, it wasn't. Yeah, it wasn't where you wanted to go,
It's
but it's where you're supposed to go.
supposed to go.
And that's a big theme for the Near Umbra in of itself in traveling. Is it's said, and it's something I think I always told you guys, is, when it comes to the Umbra, there's a lot of ways to get to where you're going.
Mm-hmm.
You'll get there. It's just a matter of how easy it is, how long it takes.
Yeah.
You could get to the Umbra and start walking left.
Which way's
Yeah.
left?
Exactly, but
That's why I said it. Which way's left?
start in the Penumbra and walk left, because left is there.
Fair.
And you could theoretically find yourself at your destination. Find your way into the Near Umbra and at your destination somehow, some way, eventually. But again, you could also be where Gaia decides you need to go, or Luna decides you need to go, or just
Either
what is
or.
destined, or both, or neither, or you can get lost and find yourself at the abyss.
Oh,
You can
that's a
find-
bad idea.
You can get lost and end up you can get lost. You could get hit up by an umbral storm and again shot off to somewhere you don't know where the fuck.
Oh man,
It's all ripe for adventure.
it's all
I think of we go to Inspirato at that point,
Mhm.
and I think of if you guys have never watched it, and this is cool because you can go see it now. If you're a Disney Plus person, is Gargoyles.
okay.
All right, it was an animated series that ran for a few years back in the 90s. Okay, well, second season, I'm going to say they got really weird, but things got really cool. And I mean, the premise is you had these, old gargoyles, medieval, who were brought back to life in the modern day Manhattan. And they're the last of their kind, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, I remember the show. It's
Yeah.
just been a long
I
time.
haven't seen it since the 90s.
It was a really good show. And in season 2, they start to get Shakespearean.
Okay.
They bring in Arthurian legend. They bring in Shakespeare. They travel with Puck to Avalon, and they fight Oberyn and Queen Titania, and they get to the Isle of Avalon through this mystical skiff. It shows up, like off the Hudson one day, like a fucking knight comes out and says, "Goliath, we need you," blah blah blah. They go, "Okay, we're coming with," some of the group, and it goes this really neat arc. But at the end of the arc, they get in the skiff and they go to leave, like, "Oh, it's gonna be great to go back to Manhattan."
And it's not Manhattan
Right.
anymore?
Well, no, and the knight yells, "No, you don't understand. The skiff doesn't take you where you want to go. It takes you where you need to be."
Ooh.
Okay, now I see where you're going with it.
Yeah. And then, the next, 5-6 episodes are them showing up at different parts of the world
Because that's where they're needed.
because that's where they're needed to have these, globe-trotting adventures just trying to get the fuck home. It's not dissimilar to the Umbra at that point. It doesn't necessarily take you where you want to go, but it takes you where you need to be.
I like it.
No, that's cool.
That is neat.
It kind of reminds me of, one of the Pirates of the Caribbean movies? He's got the compass. It tells him the direction where he wants to go.
With Jacksepticeye.
Yeah, that guy. But yet, he personally doesn't know where he wants to go, so the compass always points in a different direction.
Okay. All right.
It points to your innermost desire.
Okay, you know more than I do.
Sorry, I like the movies.
Fuck off.
But he could never tell what his innermost desire was, so...
Yeah, so he would convince someone else, this is what you want.
Yep. He would hand him the compass and go,
That's
"This is
clever.
what you want." Yep.
That's clever. That
Was a Shadow Lord?
you could use that.
Yeah.
I mean, there is a story seed there that turns into something bigger if you want to spend 5 minutes with it.
Yeah,
So,
make that a fetish or something.
folks, spend 5 minutes with it. That's a cool idea.
Actually, that is. I didn't even think about that.
Yeah.
No, not till I brought it up till I was just like, oh, that could be a cool fetish.
Well, for you, Danny.
Hey, good job, me.
Good job, you. So there's a few other ways still to travel.
Oh,
Certainly.
there's quite a few.
One that your favorite pack heavily uses.
The calm?
The
Second
other-
favorite pack.
The
The Rings
other-
and Chains?
No.
I'm just fucking with you now.
Third favorite pack.
I'm just fucking with you. I'm sorry.
Their totem owl.
Yes, is the followers of those who follow Owl get Wings in the Umbra. And it's the ultimate cheat code.
It really is. Because they also get airts that others cannot see because they can fly.
And because they can fly in the Umbra, it's like Red Bull, man. They get these big fucking bird wings.
Wings.
Yeah. And they could just get, in fact, if you remember in the postmortems, when you first met Ron, remember he came crashing out into the sky to the top of the apartment complex. Why? Because he was flying around in the
He was
fucking
flying,
Umbra.
yeah.
You know, it was
Forgot
one of the-
about that.
Yeah. He just appeared like 10 feet in the air and landed on the roof.
No, I remember that one. And it happened, and we didn't know why he was crashing down.
Yeah, like
and
it
we
was
later
weird.
on found out that it's because they follow Owl, they get Wings in the Umbra, and instantly clicked. I'm like, fucking Ron.
Playing with his toys.
Right.
Essentially,
But
yeah.
it lets you bypass like 75% of the bullshit of the Umbra.
But
I
again,
can just fly here. I don't need this shit.
yeah. Hell, I think what Tom, part of your hiatus, we kind of wrote that story of your little Umbra quest. What would you call it? An Umbra quest? Maybe.
I'd call it misadventure.
Okay.
They had more misadventure.
That's fair. And you were getting helped by someone who could just leave if he wanted to.
Yeah, I know.
Because he had wings.
Right.
And you guys weren't in a great spot either.
No.
But
We
then
were
again,
knocking on Malpheus' door.
and that was someone who he had your back. He didn't bail on you.
Which, thankfully, because I had zero respect for him at that point, and now I have the utmost respect for him because I'd be dead.
Character growth. Hooray.
Yeah.
I think he wrote it that way just so I would like him.
Yeah, I did. I was tired of you not letting him off the hook. I felt you were being unreasonable.
I was, but still. I wanted someone to hate. Couldn't hate just on Jude.
Right.
I was going to say there's plenty of NPCs in this game to do that on.
Well, Donovan's dead.
Well,
There's plenty of...
there's still more ways to travel.
Okay, what else you got?
Spirit trains.
Those are neat. Like they're kind of weird and kind of dumb, but they're
right?
also neat.
They're also neat.
Like how some of them, like the Bonars use, what they call it, the
Yeah,
subway.
they call it the subway.
Yep.
Or the Striders use the Midnight Express.
Yep.
And then there's the
The Nuisha used the ghost train.
yeah, and it's
It's probably
arguably
one
the
and the
same
same.
thing.
That's exactly what they state in the book.
Yeah. And of course,
But
it's an RPG.
probably.
It's an RPG, so of course you have to have a ghost train.
I mean, why not?
There's a dragon in Pangea, so there's another trope right there.
Jesus, I
Oh,
didn't
boy.
think about that.
It's all just D&D assholes.
Yeah, right there.
Go to the legendary realm. Boom. We're not talking about that right now.
There's still more.
So what about the pattern webs?
Yeah. Pattern webs is definitely one of them, and I would not want to trust that.
No, certainly not.
No.
And the pattern webs is, I would argue, I probably wouldn't get a whole lot of splashback on this, but the most dangerous.
I mean, it might be a little easier, not by much, but a little easier for Thurges, because there is a gift.
Well, sure, there are gifts that will,
No, and a glasswalker.
yeah, that will facilitate. Yeah, I believe it is a glasswalker gift.
It's a
It might be
glasswalker
third
gift.
also, but
Oh, then
There-
hell,
it's
like
a-
Glasswalker Thurge at that point, right?
fine, yeah, you win then.
Yeah.
It's a Thurge gift to travel along the web like a pattern spider.
So you're essentially attracting less
Attention, which
attention
is good.
and less danger.
Because that's the thing. Is now you are walking the Weaver's webs.
Mm-hmm.
And that shit's guarded. There's shit, all sorts of spiders. You can find hunter spiders there. You can find some geomids, maybe. You can find rust spiders. There's shit in those webs, man.
Yeah.
You are in the web.
Light them on fire.
It's a bad idea.
Bad spiders.
It's dangerous.
There's Incarna in there. You don't even know where those could lead. I mean, essentially that could lead you to the cyber realm's computer web. Easily could lead you there. You wouldn't know. And I think they said that the Glasswalkers do have a way of reading around. Like, they can read the webs and get a picture or call upon a pattern spider to get the picture of the webs around them, so they kind of know where to go.
But yeah, I mean,
gives them an idea.
You would definitely want to do that with a Glasswalker. I wouldn't, as a player,
Mm-hmm.
I
wouldn't trust much else, huh?
I wouldn't broach that subject without a competent Glasswalker with me.
Right.
Again, cool story hook. Or arc.
Can be. Bad shit happens when. Look at Nate Bangerang.
Ooh,
bad shit happens when you fuck with the Weaver too much.
Good point. I thought it was cool, though, that the pattern webs themselves, it touches almost all spots of the Umbra.
Which is a testament to the Weaver's influence and power.
And that's where I was going with it. It's very much because of how strong Weaver is.
And just how many pattern spiders just keep weaving more and more and more webs.
Mm-hmm.
It's just constantly growing.
More and more our reliance on technology.
Yep.
It's the way the world is.
So what other kind of spots of travel do we got?
Well, in terms of travel, that about covers
That covers it?
Yeah, but it's those destinations that can be really interesting. Again, we talk about, there are the near realms, there are pocket realms, you can find yourself in dream zones, you can find yourself, there's that too. You can find a dream zone, which you can enter by falling asleep in the penumbra. It's that simple.
Could you do it without it?
Without what?
Without falling asleep?
Sure.
I'm sure, but the book's pretty much stating you probably should.
Again, with the Umbra, theoretically anything is possible.
Right. Mm-hmm. But the easiest way would be just go
take
a nap.
This is a way we know, and take a nap, don't be an asshole.
And that's why I'm thinking that, because the one who falls asleep, essentially it's going to be their dream. But their dreams could lead into other dreams.
What's the thing is, the dream zone is the conglomerate of the whole of dreams of everything and everyone.
Everything that has existed at once.
Right. There's 5 Freddy Kruegers running around there right now, I guarantee it.
Maybe even all in one spot.
They might be taped together.
Oh, Jesus.
The Umbra, man, they could be.
Like a Mecha Freddy. I don't know what.
That's someone's
don't,
really bad
Don't
dream.
ever write Mecha Freddy, please. We don't script this, so there's a stream of consciousness in everything we do here.
Hey, Mecha Godzilla exists.
Sometimes we say things out loud, and don't make a Mecha Freddy.
We shouldn't have.
That's endorsing bad. We don't endorse these dumb ideas.
It was funny, but not endorsed.
Don't make Mecha Freddy.
I'm just thinking, if the one who falls asleep and they've got, maybe that's their Umbra quest, they have to go through the dream zone to get something or find something that was significant in their dream.
Yeah, perhaps they're looking for something that was lost in a memory that they're hoping that will come out in a dream.
Okay, thank you for saying it, because I couldn't figure out how to get there. But yeah, it's pretty much where I was going with it. But maybe someone else's dream, it's in a different location. So that's why I'm asking, is it possible to do without falling asleep with an Umbra?
Well, again, theoretically anything is possible in the Umbra. There's an Umbral realm where if you made the decision to do this, don't make the decision to do this, and you could manipulate the wild energies and change shit.
That sounds like a bad idea.
Yeah.
That's why we're saying don't do it.
Manipulating wild energies as a sentence is already bad news bears.
Mm-hmm.
But you can change shit. You could affect things in the greater world. More likely, you're going to affect things with you. It's possible to walk in there, a proud, weirdo, one-armed, get a Fenris.
Mm-hmm. At least you said proud.
I did. and walk out. Proud. And walk out a 15-year-old girl who also happens to be a Noisha.
That's a change.
Yeah.
That is a drastic change.
It's possible.
Okay, now you said weird, so that's fine too.
We'd call that an oops.
Yeah, oops.
Big oops.
Because I feel like that's not your intent.
No.
Is that a direction you care to go?
No.
Okay.
Don't go messing with wild
energy.
So
we're calling that an oops. But that
could
potentially happen. I believe there's a chart in the Velvet Shadow.
Really?
About the kind of changes that you fucking with wild energies about what will happen. I believe it's there.
I need to find this. When we're done here, I'm looking for it.
That's fine.
Now you're putting ideas in his head.
It's more of a curiosity.
Okay, I hope so.
Yeah, nothing to see. You can satisfy. There's no way. I mean, you guys are going to do what you're going to do ultimately. But you'd bring that up and Jonas would whoop your ass.
Oh, I'm sure.
How do you think what happened to him happened to him?
Yeah, he's already got
That's what I mean. I'm sure that's why I would, yeah.
Right. You want to spend the next 20 years seeing 20 different things in 20 different time periods at once?
Nope. No, I don't.
Stay out of flux. Just stay out.
Yeah, I recommend that.
Period.
I think there's a lot of new realms on the Dangerous Don't list, honestly. But at the same time, those can be great adventures if you have a reason to do them.
Right. And we keep bringing up these near realms.
Right.
I feel like we should at least touch on a few of these. And there's one in particular that I feel like we need to touch on.
Okay.
And it's Erebus.
Why?
Why?
It's Erebus.
Why? Because Erebus is the embodiment of Gaia's wrath and the purgatory of the nation. A place both feared and revered.
It's crazy you just come up with it just like that.
Oh, yeah. Just came up with it.
Yeah, she spread off his notes.
The book came up with that, thanks.
All right.
Direct quote.
Okay.
I
All
get
right.
you.
Come on, I mean, you have to. I mean, this is the place where Garu go to cleanse themselves.
It is. And I mean, fine. Okay, well, we could talk Erebus.
I mean, we keep talking. I mean, we brought up
we
many,
could
and
talk
people
about
are
a couple.
going like, "What is that? What is this? What is?" I mean, if they haven't touched the Umbra book, they're gonna. What are these pocket realms? What is all this?
Okay,
It's
certainly.
got a good point, yeah.
And look, we will be talking about those in depth later.
Sure.
But yeah, we can.
The next
we can't-
Umbra episode
in 3 more years.
2022.
Yeah,
I just enjoy this one, and I wanted to make sure it got brought up.
you win.
That's
you
fair.
win. Go. We'll talk about Erebus.
Where do you want to start?
What do you mean? Where do I want to start? She's this guy.
Well, one thing that's awesome is Cerberus guards this.
Yes.
A 3-headed wolf.
Who?
Cerberus?
Ah, okay.
Not Charybdis. Close.
More attention.
No, a
You're welcome.
3-headed black and silver wolf. He guards it, and he decides who may enter and for what purpose. So you need to please him to be able to go cleanse yourself.
Gross. Now, interesting about that is in earlier versions of the Umbra book, it talks specifically about how the 3 heads are physically distinct from each other, each representing a different part of the triad.
Oh, that's cool.
Umbra 20 didn't.
I know, I believe you.
Yeah.
Because we were talking about it earlier.
Because I was reading it, I was like, I can't believe it. Because you were telling me about it.
There's a
Bummer.
picture of it.
Why wouldn't they keep that?
There's
That's really
actually
cool.
a picture in Velvet Shadow. Where there's like the weirdo robot head and like the wormy face, and
Oh, no shit.
it's not great art, but it's there.
Oh.
But that doesn't have any changing heads.
Well,
Like,
I
I'm
mean-
showing these guys a picture right now
Yeah.
from 20, and they're just 3 standard heads.
I mean, I guess that was a
Maybe we'll have
design
to look that one
decision.
up, too.
Design decision to make that change, but it could be either way you want it. I just thought that was neat.
Yeah. Storytellers. Use your imagination.
You know, and
Go creative.
if you make it past them, obviously you're going to be greeted by black hills with flowing rivers of silver.
Yeah, that's the thing. Is it takes the idea of the lake of fire and just replaces fire with silver.
Huh.
And as each near realm has different laws and rules, and this pertains even to entry and exit sometimes. One of the little caveats to Erebus is you can heal silver damage. No biggie.
Wow.
Yeah, no big.
But only if you're in
Erebus.
Erebus.
Yeah.
And that's more of the brood, though, that's doing that. Because they mark you before you go in.
But it's law of the realm.
Right. It is Law of the Realm. And I do like I have to throw this in there. They have a little secret that there is a spiral dancer swirling around in that silver pool. Been there for decades. They're trying to cleanse him.
He's just that corrupted that he's still there and hasn't been...
It's a spiral. He did the dance. He's a spiral dancer. They're trying to cleanse him of the worm.
I mean, the implication there would be
He's that
it wouldn't.
corrupted.
Well, would be to make him a white howler.
And that's the thing that it states, and that's
that's
why I
the
wanted to say
implication.
that.
Yeah.
It says no one knows how long it will take to cleanse him, and some speculate that if he comes out alive and cleansed, he could be the first of the new White Howler tribe.
And it's cool to say that.
Yeah,
Okay,
I thought it
but
was
if you-
neat to
yeah.
say it, but it's just
a neat-
speculation.
it's a neat legend, and it can stay a legend and stay speculation.
Stay speculation, please. Yeah.
or even, okay, maybe it's true. And in 10 years, he comes out and he has the potential of
To bring back White Lion.
Lion as a totem, but that doesn't bring the tribe together overnight.
Right.
And that's not what we're talking about. I just want to point out that it's okay to have those legends, and for that to be wrong. And to go back to Shadows and Tall Trees for a second. If you guys recall, a huge crux of that entire situation was based on the speculation of the antenna you were dealing with.
Yes.
It was that, well, if we do this, then this could happen. They didn't know. They couldn't prove it.
No, it was all speculation.
But it was, we can't take the risk.
Right, and that's what I
in
was
case
say
it
next.
is real.
Right.
The risk is not worth it.
Right. Juice ain't worth the squeeze.
Okay, good one.
Another little tidbit is Erebus is obviously only for Garo.
Mm-hmm.
No other changing breeds have anything like Erebus, so they have no way of cleansing.
Really?
Yeah, it's stated in 20.
Yeah.
Interesting.
It's like a little bird cage of gold for the Corax.
I
I'm an
almost
asshole.
wonder. I almost wonder if any of the other changing breeds even know about it.
I don't know.
I'd imagine.
I just speculate they would.
I don't know that they would.
No?
Maybe they. No, because where do they hear? They're not to hear a Garu tell them a story around the fire, first of all.
True.
Cricker Wormfoe's not going to have beers with Larry Catface and tell him about the time he went to Erebus, right?
Larry Catface.
Larry Catface.
Gotcha.
It's a very important member of the Best Ed. We'll get to it someday.
Someday.
Quote me on that shit, I dare you. But, so, they're not going to share those stories. And you'd make the argument that would a member of the Farah, and, those all have limited, a different experience with the Umbra.
Mm-hmm.
Would they even find the realm? Would that even be possible? And if so, certainly, Cerebus wouldn't
Wouldn't let them in.
let him in.
Yeah. There's ways to sneak past them
But
if you've got the wherewithal. And then there's
gotta be
only
curious
one way
now.
out, and that's the way you came in. There is a secret way out, but not many know about it.
and now
Gotta be curious on both those now.
Read the book.
Son of a bitch.
Oh, well, we'll touch more into it, because it gets really in-depth, and we'll touch more into that. But I just feel like everybody needs to know about that place, because obviously we're fighting Worm all the time, where you're eventually getting tainted.
a rite of
You
cleansing
need to-
only goes so far.
Yeah, rite of cleansing only goes so far. You need to get the deeper cleanse from going to Erebus.
I'm glad
And
you
it's-
said going to Erebus, because I was about to say that's what she said.
And, it should be, if you're doing that, and I don't, maybe it happens again, I don't know how much time you'd want to spend on it, because there's a level of how interesting is the story of you treading water in a lake of silver.
Oh, as
Going-
far as cleansing.
Oh, it burns, ow, it burns,
You're
ow,
not
it
actually
burns.
treading. It pulls you in.
Oh, wow.
We'll get deeper into it later. Because
And
this
deeper,
gets,
'cause-
deeper.
yeah.
Yeah.
Because of water.
I mean, I could
Gotcha.
literally be here for 40 minutes, or not 40, but like 30 minutes talking about it. There's got a lot of depth to it.
So you usually want to the wet,
Just skim
wet
it.
the
Yeah,
appetite.
just
Okay.
wet the apple. So future, when we start talking about more of these pocket realms, we'll get more in depth with them.
All right.
Hopefully we'll do it a little sooner than a year
Yeah,
later.
we'll be better about that, we promise. That just got away from us. That's really, I can't believe it's been that long since we did Penumbra.
I know, it's-
I'm sorry, guys.
Yeah. Sorry.
That's dumb. Danny, did you have a...
I mean, I thought
New Realm?
Battlegrounds was cool, but again, if we're not going too deep into the Near Realms,
Just give
not
them a
just
little
yet
taste.
a little bit.
Give them a little taste.
Yeah.
It's kind of what it sounds like. It's, a vision, really, of any battle, any war, or anything
Ever.
ever. And I like how when you go do it, it's different for every traveler.
Well, yeah. And I mean, when you say traveler, I mean, if you have a group of travelers, they don't all see something different. It's kind of like the dominant personality
Right.
takes over. So, like, if you're with big timey glass walker, maybe you're walking up to a computer console and
I was gonna say,
you're
maybe it's a
typing
giant
in, and-
computer screen or something.
right? And it's going, here's the directions to different battles,
Or it's an arcade game or something.
right? That'll point you to a direction. And then you go down these halls, and it's almost like little stages or TV screens that are playing all these battles, and then you can jump in and participate.
Yeah, when you go down the path, as long as you stay on the path, you're protected.
Right.
As soon as you get off the path, you're in that battle until it's over.
Or until you die,
Or until you die, yeah.
which is not actual
Which-
death in the battleground.
Right.
You get punted out to somewhere else in the near Umbra.
I mean, like I said, I thought that was cool, especially for, like, history buffs. Thought that'd be cool to be able to see, and then you can get their perspective on that, or maybe even use that as a pack. Maybe the Ahround uses that to help train his pack for better tactics. Look at what we did
like
here.
That.
Yeah, well, and you bring that up because, the battles that are showcased, if you will. I like to use the movie theater analogy, where, you go down the road, you're theater 12, and like each theater is playing a different battle.
That's a good idea, yeah.
Right? And it's easy, to picture that now.
Right.
Because you get your tickets taken now here, go down one of these halls, there's theaters on both sides, fucking go.
Utilize the battleground as a rank challenge.
You can, absolutely.
Oh, yeah.
You can have the Ahround who wants to look over their battles because, again, the dominant persona or the travelers subconsciously dictate what battles are being shown currently.
Yes. And could be different the next time you go there.
Exactly. In case in point, we use that as a character building tool to give insight on the background of an NPC once upon a time, if you guys recall.
Oh, absolutely.
Yep. Oh, yeah.
Yep, yes I do.
And you guys were able to see a very poignant battle in the history of one of your favorite NPCs, Danny. And that forged who he is today.
Very much so. Very much so. And it was cool because it gave us the perspective of someone who was so insignificant to that battle. They were in the battle, but they were the very lowest of significance.
No, it's true.
You get that almost like that pedestal. So, like I said, that's kind of why this one stuck out to me. I thought that was a lot of fun, and I even thought of it, like I said, with using the Ahround is being able to look over previous battles. Maybe they lost a certain battle.
Sure, and
So
why did we lose this?
Why did we lose it? So he goes over and he sees that battle and sees it from all the different angles and finds out what he did wrong. And maybe he tries, because obviously you can't change it.
Well, theoretically you can, but as long as you're there.
You can change what happens, sure, but it doesn't change the history once you're out of the battle.
Right, so it basically doesn't. But the theory is you change reality until you leave the battleground and it goes back to normal. So good job.
I thought that was cool, and I can very
could
easily
definitely
see
be
it.
quite used for rank challenges. Then change the outcome of that. There's your challenge.
That's a good idea,
And
too.
which obviously won't stick, but people are watching.
But people are watching. Everyone's there.
You guys fought, and actually I wrote a story that I never got to run.
No.
Well, I a little bit did with you guys later. But the idea was that for someone's birthday,
Okay.
Rowan Blood Tears would take the pack into the battleground because he found a particular battle that the elders did in their prime.
Oh, so
Happy birthday, you got to check this shit out.
Oh, that's awesome.
And the whole thing would have been me dictating what the battle was and then going and you got rolling shadow boxing off on the second one. Yeah, hit him again. And then maybe you guys jump in, maybe you don't, but it just seemed like fun.
Oh, that's a really cool one. Yeah. Look at how badass these guys are. Yes, they're the elders of the Cairn and the Sep. Now see why.
Right? Like here's Swimming Bird, who today looks like the Crypt Keeper and Over Redenbacher had a baby. It's like a skeleton wrapped in cellophane.
But check him out in his prime.
Yeah, check him out when he was 25. He just ate a tank. I don't even know how that's possible.
Wow. Awesome. Wait, you have a near realm that kind of stuck out to you a little bit? I mean, obviously you're a storyteller and you have all this fucking vast knowledge already. But...
Yeah, I'm a huge asshole. So, I'll talk about the Abyss.
Oh, you are an asshole. You son of a bitch. You son of a bitch asshole.
There was a time, and I didn't realize I did this, but there was a time, and this was back in the day, when I would do yearly Abyss runs. I didn't realize it.
Oh my god.
Wow.
But I did 4 or 5 stories in the Abyss, and I had no idea that it was almost a year to the day every time. I don't know what. But the Abyss starts as a crack. There's a crack in the ground in the near Umbra, and what does the ground in the near Umbra mean but shut up and run with it?
Okay. I'm following so far.
It could start in the penumbra, and the crack gets larger and larger and becomes this big crevice, this giant canyon, into nothing.
Okay.
There are legends that the Maw of the Worm is down there. Also, nothing is down there. Maybe it's the path to the Temple Obscura, all the way down. I don't know. But if you go down and you fall, I take your character sheet away.
Oh, you son of a bitch.
you have died for all intents and purposes.
Yeah.
And so you end up descending into the abyss, climbing down. And there are paths, a bronze, a silver, and a gold. And it said that everything lost in the world
Ends up in the abyss.
Ends up in the abyss.
Okay.
Ooh, Bones of Shakrahine might be down there.
Bones of maybe lost fetishes from the White Howlers or the Bunyip or the Croatan.
Oh, wow.
Maybe that sock from Laundry Day. But, you know...
Could be anything.
The directions to the Fountain of Youth. You know?
Or Macbeth's pants.
Or Macbeth's pants. That's a great one. That's a great...
Yes, I did.
Wish we weren't friends. But, you know... And in the further you go down, and I say the paths of silver, gold, but because the paths are lined with this material.
Mm-hmm.
And there's more of it the further down you go.
Okay.
It also gets darker. And eventually, there is no light. And when I mean that, I mean lambent flame's not going to work, fairy light's not going to work, your flashlight's not going to work. It becomes nothing.
Oh, man.
Now, there's a hive down there, too, which is fun times.
God.
But more important is the Nightmaster.
Oh, man. I was like, where are you going with this? And then now...
Yeah, the Nightmaster
punch him in the face.
once was a Shadow Lord, and him and his pack went down there for fortune and glory, as Garu are wont to do.
Mm-hmm.
And slowly, as they descended, people started going mad. Because that's what happens in the fucking abyss.
I can imagine.
Until it was just their alpha, who ended up making a deal with the abyss itself and becoming its living embodiment.
Oh, wow. Shit.
He became the Nightmaster. He can't be killed. He can't be stopped. He can't leave the abyss. But he's there. He's everywhere all the time. He's watching. You don't know that he's not. And maybe you can make a deal with him. Maybe. Maybe you can... He wants to eat the sun.
Don't go there.
He wants to eat the sun?
He wants to eat the sun. So maybe, I don't know, you get some sun chips. Maybe that's close enough. It's not close enough.
He wants to eat the sun so he can leave the abyss.
Cast everything into darkness. Abyss is bad news bears. You know, but it's rife with potential for, you know, finding the lost thing or a great way to ruin someone's day.
I was going to say...
A great way to kill a whole pack.
Make him real mad
Yeah.
and sad and all at once.
Yeah, I like the abyss. I'm a jerk.
Sounds like it.
But I feel like...
That's pretty close.
Yeah, I feel like that's going to cover it for today. We will come back to the Umbra.
Oh, yeah.
It will happen before too long. We're going to talk about more near realms. We're going to talk about what we can do with them. Because I think that's probably more interesting than just going, well, this is here and it's in the book and you can...
Yeah,
we're going to tell you about the thing that you're going to read up on anyway.
Yeah, that's just boring.
So, you know, we're going to have our fun with it.
Mm-hmm.
But that's it for today. We remind you once again, store's open. We remind you once again, help us out with any support you can. Be that our Patreon, giving us, you know, thumbs ups, word of mouth, reviews. Remember, 5-star or bust, because it only helps for 5 stars for some stupid reason.
Weird. Stupid algorithms.
I swear it's not for our ego, it's for the algorithm.
Yeah, we appreciate the help if you could.
We do. You know, we love you guys to death. Thank you so much for all your support. You know, everything that's come before and everything that's coming ahead. You know, on behalf of Tommy Dixon, Daniel Tyson, and myself, just thank you. We'll see you next time. Take care of each other and keep on howling. See ya.